If we're talking about the upcoming classes for a second,
Mhm.
I know that the generational healing, you have a 2.0. I still haven't taken this one. And then
Mhm.
there's also a Ming Men class coming up. And I
Oh yeah,
kind of
I forgot about.
and I would probably have to decide between the two of them. So I'm kind of wondering, the generational healing, you keep mentioning that it talks about the dynamic and the function, which connects to the auric programming.
Mhm.
So is that
Yeah, so
2.0 is when
that's
you
good,
connect
but
them?
we're also covering some of that in some of the other classes, like Sandalphon would be like the structure component. And so, I mean, if you don't get it in generational healing, we're going to go a little bit deeper in each of the pieces in either a study group setting or a class. And so, the functional healing, for example, or the function of the aura. Um, I'm going to go into it a bit deeper in a class just by itself, the four aspects. And, so you could do the generational healing, or you could wait for the next one to come. I'll probably teach that one in July. And so, what would it be? That one where we're in Sarasota. Like, what is that, 13th, 14th or something, 11th, 12th, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
13th, 14th, I think of
Yeah.
July.
So that will be a much deeper version of it. And so, I mean, the generational healing is good, especially if you want to do generational work. And, those pieces are good. But like even with the dynamics of the aura is the seven directions. And in that, I didn't correlate it to the 49 and everything. And so it would be helpful, but it's still not quite to the point where the 49 aspects that are in ORIC programming has been presented in that. Like it was a little
So
bit
would
of
that be the two?
appetizer or precursor to those things. Yeah.
But would that be the 2.0 that you're doing at the end of
In
June? That's what
the
I'm.
generational healing, I won't be presenting it with the ORIC programming
Oh,
information, just because it would be a little confusing. Like that, like the
okay.
focus is more on the generational healing. And my intention was to do a little bit of a study group, but I think that one was so intense for people that I just thought I'd give everybody a little break from that for a little bit. Because I mean, it really, I mean, if you want to talk or tackle things from each side of the family, it moves that energy like nobody's business. And so
Okay.
the
You'll hear my
dynamic,
next question. You'll tell me to take the class. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the thing that really, why I called it the precursor is when you work the father side of your biology, what your biology is tied to. When you work the father side, it's more about what extends outward in the energy body, and the mother side is about what comes in. And so the idea of the aura, like breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, is tied to generational healing. And so in that way, it is tied to the precursor to auric healing, but it's the part that we do with the cords, like it's the latter part of the second day is what really taps into that. But it's a little bit intense. Like stuff comes up, like unresolved things, even things that you might not even think is an issue. And so that's why I was like, oh, let's pump the brakes on that. And we're still going to do a study group of that, but just getting everybody a little bit of time to digest it before we go back at it, and we'll do it in more pieces so that it's not so intense.
Okay. Now I actually want to take the class even more.
Yeah. No, it's a very, I mean, there's a handful of classes that I'd say are very, very potent. That would definitely make the handful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then And the main class that you're teaching, how is that connecting to, I
So
mean,
that is tied to like for a couple years in a row, every month we do one of the chakras. And so we do the holy name, the spirit, the angel, the planet, and then some of the tendencies associated with that. And so we taught all of those classes twice. And so this time we're teaching it again, but we're going to do a 2.0 version of it where it's going to be different than the previous classes. Same oil, same kit, everything like that, but it's working it with a little bit more of what we're doing these days with the aura and working the aspects with the foundation that we've laid, you know, with 3 brains and all of that. Yeah. So it same class, but different, you know, just like if
Yeah.
you looked at the Sound of Fun class, like the old Sound of Fun class you went through and did before we did the weekend, and same oils, but very different class, very, very different class, you know.
Okay. So yeah, I
Most
basically
class,
want to decide with or
yeah, most classes I could do 3 or 4 different versions of them. And you know, for a while I was like, well, we could come around and teach it again. And then I don't know, maybe about a year and a half ago, I was like, let's just do a review and then we'll do a 2.0 version. Like, let's just start doing it that way. And that way, when people have had the class, we can just use the same kit and you know, it's a review and you know, I don't know. I like that version, and we can go much deeper in some of the classes where really a weekend doesn't really touch it. Like generational healing, I could have taught that over a week, but you know, that's not practical. So, you know, we do what we can in 2 days, but I'll come back around and we'll teach, you know, a little bit deeper every time. And so I laid the kit out so that when I come back for a 2.0 or a 3.0, you won't need different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm probably gonna end up doing either or, and I was kind of debating which one. I was actually leaning towards the generational.
Well, and I would keep also the 7 rays. Like I definitely would keep that if that's in the mix.
The kit is the kit is already on the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, good. So if you're doing either or there, maybe the generational healing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're
Okay.
going to do it and you're really into it, like swing big, might as well do it.
Yeah. Yeah. As you can see,
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
just
the generational
Okay,
stuff,
thank you.
the generational stuff is it is potentially profoundly healing. It's just it makes energy move so fast that it's not always comfortable to people. You know, I thought about teaching that class like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, I don't know. And you know, now we're doing it, and I'm like, you know, I think we have a bunch of people who are ready for it, but it's still it's not for the tourist. You know what I mean? Like the people are just like, hey, what's going on here? It's for the serious,
No.
you know, it's for the serious people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm always trying to balance out. Like I want to give stuff to the serious people, but I also want to help people who are maybe new or have been just doing it for a little while or something, and you know, try to balance it out so that we're always doing all of it. But that one's kind of for a serious student. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, yeah. So the idea was really to catch up on that and then be able to do the 2.0 at the end of June. Okay. So that